corporate is for everyone, but also not for everyone?
I think in a startup, right, if you have a go-getter mindset, you are hungry to progress really quickly in your role, the opportunities are more available. I also feel that it's because it's a smaller team, usually it's a smaller team, right? It's easier to get noticed. It's easier to pick up skills really quickly. And I think also because the communication style is more open and your seniors and your peers are more easily accessible, you would then have more opportunities to learn. You would also then have more opportunities to actually voice out your goals and your future plans to the company. And typically because it's a smaller work setting, they would want to then internally promote their team, right? Or their people as well. So there's less competition. So I think that's why it's also a lot quicker in terms of career growth, monetary growth, at least within like the first 5 to 10 years.
But that is if that person has the right mentality, right?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Because I have heard stories where some startups actually break people.
Wow. Okay, well, I have my fair share of ones that I've been in, but maybe you can share more first.
Okay, I think on the corporate side, right? I honestly think that corporate is for everyone, but also not for everyone. I will always think that people who want a safer, more stable career throughout their lives will usually go for corporate versus a startup. Okay, in terms of career progression wise, I think that it will be slow. And I will say this I will generalize this for all corporate companies. Internal promotions will be slow. Reason being is because the company is huge, there is high competition, and sometimes they just have quota for promotion. Right?
Yeah.
It's not like every year is the same. Every quarter, someone will get promoted as and when. I know startups promotion can happen sometimes, anytime, sometimes.
Yes.
But for corporate companies, no. I think there's a lot of SOPs, a lot of rules that we follow. Maybe, when we do our yearly appraisal, that is only when you get promoted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to climb up the corporate ladder, you can. Of course, you need to put yourself out there even more because competition is very stiff. But if you want more money and you want to climb faster, you have to then jump to another company, unfortunately. I think that would be what I think.
Yeah. But I see a lot of corporates now, it's like a curveball back to you. I see a lot of corporates now setting up new teams, right? So they could be like a team that purely manages social, or they could be a TikTok team where they hire younger people. Do you think it's still the same sort of corporate structure for that specific team to grow, or would you say it's maybe a little bit more flexible and a little more startup, since that team is sort of set up in a way that it's new, it's very, maybe focused on like TikTok specifically?
I think times has changed. When I started working, we hear a lot of people talking about, China man company, China man company. I don't think these days people talk about that anymore. I think people will be like, is it
Maybe.
hybrid? You hybrid or not? I also hybrid
Yeah.
It's like the things that we cared about or how our bosses act then, or the culture is very different from now.
That's true.
So that itself has changed a lot of people's mentality, especially bosses, and how they would want to structure their organization. But that being said, corporate will always be very rigid. There will be rules that you need to follow.
So
Rules are
wait
there
10
to
years.
rules
I'll
are
wait
there.
10 years.
I think maybe they will be more flexible, but rules will always be there. Like, in startups, there is no glass ceiling, for example.
Yeah.
In corporate, there is. Yes. So this is my fair share.
Where do we find the perfect balance of both? Where do we guys go to find the perfect balance of both?
Both. I don't think there's a perfect balance of both. But these days, there are a lot of corporate departments, I would say. I won't say the company. I think the culture will always remain, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be the same. But sometimes team leaders or bosses, their mentality is a little bit more younger, more modern, not as rigid. So then that is where flexibility come into play.
Yeah.
So you have the rigidness of work, the SOPs, the red tapes, a lot of layers of approval and everything else. But at the same time, you have a boss that says, hey, do it.
Yeah.
There is the trend. Let's just go with the flow. I think that's very helpful.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yes. But do share with us your stories in the comment section. And then we would love to hear from you. So,
yeah, let us know what you think corporate versus startups.
all right. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.